One of the biggest challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject to make you a reliable source of information.
Emergency, emergency, emergency. You have to leave the West.
And if there's one thing I profess to know anything about, it's pizza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pepperonis have returned on a Red Baron's pizza. Pandemic's over. Well, you haven't heard from me or seen me in a while, but I'm back after a hectic month of August and 3 weeks of boozing and drinking and hanging out in the rabbit hole with other QAnon conspiracy theorists. No, not really, but I'll try to explain it. It's kind of hard for me to believe sometimes that I had to pull myself out of deep retirement mode, and I almost got back to getting busy again until the hangnail. Have you ever had a hangnail that you just pulled on and you just maybe went a little too far and got a little too much, and well, mine got pretty infected. So I've been doing like weeks of foot baths and haven't been playing any racquetball, pickleball, beaching. Actually, I did go to the beach. The one day I thought my toe was getting better, I went to the beach and we had a little party, and a friend of mine stepped on my toe.
And stepped on my toes. I can't believe. On purpose, too. Step on my toes one more time. It's gonna be some trouble.
It's getting better, and I'm getting back to the swing of things, and I think I've already talked about what a busy month of August we had, and I already published a blog about it, and you can read all about that on our Patreon support page. But I can't remember when we've accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. First, we got our vehicle registrations done, which also meant 2 vehicle inspections. Then we decided to renew our driver's licenses a little early, and before we knew it, Terry's citizenship oath ceremony was upon us, and needless to say, there was a little celebrating in that aftermath. Then it was time for passport renewals. I had to get mine, and she had to apply for her new passport, but first we had to get passport photos. And amazingly, that whole process from start to finish only took like 10 days, and we both got our passports mailed back from Hawaii. As far as I'm concerned, I've never known the government to work that fast. And through all that, I managed to survive a major computer derailment. I pumped out 4 videos, 3 blog posts, survived 2 birthday celebrations and an anniversary. If that wasn't enough to slow us down, we both got our voter registrations done and both voted in the primary. I was able to play some racquetball, and together we played a little pickleball and had a couple league bowling outings. And when the month finally ended, it was like being hit with a tidal wave of relief. And then along came the hangnail incident, and that pretty much derailed me. So I decided to take some time off, get rested up, and get the big toe healed before it had to be chopped off. I mean, I've heard of these things. I took some much needed downtime, got caught up with some of my favorite sailing channels, and I fell into a YouTube hole. A subscriber of mine directed me to that recent Tim K video for my opinion on this latest drama.
Things in the world are deteriorating, and there's no safer place in the United States. Now is the time to stay there, not risk it and travel anywhere. All right, guys, emergency, emergency, emergency. You have to leave the West.
You're kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me.
Personally, I'm over all the fear-mongering we've experienced for nearly 3 years. And it's hard for me to believe there's anyone who's that insightful about things of an apocalyptic nature. Contrary to what some people might think, I don't know everything.
Share your knowledge? Maybe we should send him over to Randy in Guam. He knows everything.
There are a couple things I do know with some certainty, though, besides pizza. I realize that Global relationships are not going all that great. And I know that if some nuclear catastrophe were upon us, there won't be many places on this planet that will be safe from the fallout, both radiation and the aftermath. If there's any place I choose to be in the event of a huge global disruption, it would be in the tropics, and most specifically Southeast Asia. And if there's one more thing I am certain of, it's that the folks in this part of the world are some of the most resourceful and resilient people on the planet. Having spent over 17 years of my life living in this part of the world, I can say with confidence that there are no more resilient people on the planet like the Filipino. They've proven time and time again that they know how to survive in the aftermath of disaster. And at least in the Philippines, you could survive on rice, fish, and non-radioactive banana ketchup. I'm sure we all think from time to time about the recent geopolitical events and developments over the last couple of years, and about the rather high tensions across the globe, but I'm not convinced that the fear is any greater than it was during the Kennedy years of the early 1960s, when America nearly conceded that nuclear war was imminent. During those years, people took this pretty seriously, and they were all building bomb shelters in their backyards across the country. It's estimated that there were over 200,000 bomb shelters built prior to 1965. I was around 8 years old, and I can remember when our neighbors dropped an underground fuel storage tank in their ground, in the ground behind their house. And for the next few years, it was nothing more than a place for us kids to use in our playtime adventures. But I digress. So in summary, please stop listening to all the fear-mongering, especially from those who really have no clue. Most times they are in it for nefarious reasons, and could care less about our individual and personal freedoms. In our daily lives, most of us go through great lengths to avoid discomfort and suffering. And doing so, we adapt to a world of comfort and ease, many times based upon what other individuals push onto us. It's us Westerners that usually take things for granted and are easily swayed in our decisions. And that being said, there is this downside that when things aren't so perfect, absent is the happiness found in the most simplest of moments. We must always remember that when we think about the parts that suck while living in the Philippines, it can also be the sum of those same parts that make life in this part of the world more enjoyable. Do what you want to do.